November 2017, Toronto. The city was alive with music, neon lights, and crowds spilling onto the streets. Everyone was busy, no one paying attention. But in the chaos, Tess Richey disappeared, and no one noticed. Hours passed. Days went by. Friends searched. Family pleaded. Police traced her steps. And yet, the truth was closer than anyone could imagine. How could someone vanish in one of Canada's busiest cities? Before we begin, like this video, subscribe to Crime Shadows here, and comment below which country you're watching from. Let's uncover the truth together. Tess Richey was a 22-year-old woman from Barrie, known by friends and family as gentle, creative, and deeply compassionate. She had a quiet personality but a strong artistic spirit. Tess loved photography, art, and capturing small moments of beauty that many people overlooked. Creativity was an important part of who she was, allowing her to express emotions and connect with the world around her. Those closest to Tess described her as trusting and kind-hearted. She valued meaningful relationships and maintained a close bond with her family, especially her mother and siblings. Family played a central role in her life, and she often stayed in contact with them, sharing updates and experiences. In November 2017, Tess traveled to Toronto for what was meant to be a simple and enjoyable visit. She wanted to reconnect with friends, attend social events, and spend time exploring a city she once knew well. The trip was intended as a short break, a chance to relax, socialize, and reset before returning home. During her stay, Tess was living near the lively Church and Wellesley neighborhood, an area known for its vibrant nightlife, busy streets, and constant flow of people. It was considered active and well-populated, a place where many felt safe walking even late at night. Nothing about the trip suggested danger. Tess was simply enjoying time with friends, surrounded by the energy of the city, unaware that this visit would soon turn into a tragedy that shocked communities across Canada. On the night of November 25, 2017, Tess Richey went out with friends in downtown Toronto. The city was alive with weekend energy. Bars and nightclubs were crowded, music echoed through the streets, and people filled the sidewalks despite the cold late November weather. Tess spent the evening socializing, visiting several popular nightlife spots with her group. Friends later recalled that the night felt normal and relaxed, nothing unusual, nothing alarming. Like many young adults enjoying a night out, they moved between venues, talking, laughing, and enjoying the busy atmosphere of the city. As the night went on, Tess became separated from her friends. In a crowded downtown area, this didn't immediately raise concern. It was common for people to leave venues at different times or head home on their own. Tess appeared capable of making her way back safely. Shortly afterward, she sent messages to friends saying she was tired and planning to go home. Her tone sounded calm and ordinary. There were no signs of fear or distress in her communication, giving everyone the impression that she had simply ended her night early. Surveillance cameras later captured Tess walking alone along Church Street during the early morning hours. The footage showed her moving through the area without obvious panic, though she appeared slightly unsteady, possibly affected by alcohol after the evening out. This moment became the last confirmed sighting of Tess alive, the final trace before her movements disappeared into mystery, leaving investigators with only questions about what happened next. When Tess Richey failed to return home or respond to messages, concern quickly began to grow among her friends. At first, they assumed she might be resting after a late night out. But as hours passed with no contact, worry turned into fear. Repeated phone calls went unanswered. Her social media accounts remained silent, something unusual for someone who regularly stayed connected with loved ones. Realizing something was wrong, friends reported her missing to police in Toronto. Authorities launched a missing person investigation. Beginning with routine procedures, officers reviewed surveillance footage from nearby streets, bars, and businesses, attempting to track Tess's final movements. Detectives interviewed witnesses, spoke with friends who had been with her that night, and tried to piece together a timeline of her last known hours. As the search expanded, missing person posters featuring Tess's photograph appeared across downtown Toronto. Volunteers shared her information online, spreading awareness through social media in hopes that someone had seen her or could provide a critical tip. Meanwhile, Tess's family traveled from her hometown to Toronto to join the search themselves. Refusing to wait for answers, they walked the streets day and night, checking alleys, doorways, and nearby areas where she had last been seen. Public appeals were made, urging anyone with information to come forward. Despite growing attention and ongoing searches, no confirmed sightings emerged, leaving investigators and family members facing a frightening reality. Tess had vanished without a trace. 3 days after Tess Richey disappeared, the search took a heartbreaking turn. Her mother, unable to sit and wait for updates, began searching the neighborhood herself near the apartment where Tess had been staying in Toronto. Walking through nearby streets and laneways, she carefully checked areas that had already been passed by countless pedestrians. Then, in a narrow alley behind a row of garbage bins, she noticed something disturbing. There, partially hidden from view, was Tess's body. The discovery was devastating. Tess had been only steps away from where search efforts were concentrated the entire time. The realization shocked both the family and the public, raising difficult questions about how such a critical area had not been thoroughly located sooner. News of the discovery spread quickly across Toronto, sparking widespread grief, disbelief, and outrage. Many people struggled to understand how a missing woman could remain undiscovered in one of the city's busiest downtown neighborhoods for several days. An autopsy was conducted soon after. Investigators confirmed the cause of death as manual strangulation, officially ruling the case a homicide. The findings made it clear that Tess's death was not accidental but the result of a violent attack. Mourning turned into demands for answers. Detectives intensified their investigation, determined to identify who was responsible and how the killer had managed to disappear into the city unnoticed. Following the discovery of Tess Richey, investigators moved quickly to determine exactly what had happened during her final hours. The findings indicated that Tess had been involved in a violent physical encounter shortly after she was last seen walking alone in downtown Toronto. Evidence suggested a sudden and personal attack rather than an accident or medical emergency. Investigators carefully analyzed injuries, environmental evidence, and the location where her body was discovered. These details helped detectives begin reconstructing a timeline of events, narrowing down when the attack likely occurred and how long Tess had remained in the laneway before being found. Forensic teams worked alongside detectives, reviewing surveillance footage, witness statements, and digital evidence to connect every piece of information. Each discovery brought investigators closer to identifying who had crossed paths with Tess during her final moments. The autopsy findings transformed the case from a missing person investigation into an urgent homicide inquiry. Police now focused entirely on locating the individual responsible, believing the attacker had blended into the busy city surroundings immediately after the crime. As the investigation into Tess Richey's death progressed, detectives turned their attention to the surrounding area and surveillance footage. Hours of CCTV from downtown Toronto streets revealed a man walking near Tess shortly after her last confirmed sighting. While his movements appeared ordinary at first glance, investigators suspected he might have been the last person to see her alive. Police released the images to the public, appealing for information. Tips poured in from residents and business owners across the city. Within days, authorities identified the suspect as Kalen Schlatter, a 21-year-old local man with no known prior connection to Tess. Officers quickly located and arrested him. During questioning, Schlatter admitted to encountering Tess in the laneway and confessed to manually strangling her. His confession confirmed the worst fears of family, friends, and the city. The attack had been sudden, violent, and completely senseless. The fact that Tess's mother discovered her daughter's body rather than law enforcement sparked outrage and intensified debate about missing persons protocols. Citizens and media alike questioned police procedures, transparency, and the thoroughness of searches. The tragedy, coupled with these procedural criticisms, ignited a broader conversation about urban safety, the handling of missing persons cases, and the responsibilities of authorities in high-density cities. Kalen Schlatter was formally charged with second-degree murder in connection with the death of Tess Richey. Court hearings began shortly afterward, with prosecutors presenting the timeline, CCTV footage, and evidence gathered during the investigation. During the proceedings, details of the encounter were revealed: how Schlatter had approached Tess in the laneway, the sudden escalation, and the fatal act of strangulation. The courtroom was filled with tension as the deliberate and violent nature of the attack became clear. Tess's family attended every hearing, offering emotional victim impact statements. Her mother described the heartbreak of losing a daughter to senseless violence, her voice shaking as she recounted the search, the discovery of Tess's body, and the profound grief that followed. Family and friends' testimonies highlighted the lasting effect on those left behind, bringing a human perspective to the crime beyond the facts and evidence. In court, Schlatter entered a guilty plea. The judge reviewed the evidence and considered the impact on Tess's family and the wider community. Ultimately, he was sentenced to life imprisonment, with eligibility for parole after 10 years under Canadian law. The judge condemned Schlatter's actions as violent, deliberate, and completely inexcusable, emphasizing the emotional and societal damage caused by the crime. The sentence reflected both the severity of the attack and the necessity for justice to be served, ensuring that Tess's life and memory were honored in the legal process. News of Tess's death and the circumstances surrounding the case sparked nationwide media coverage. Communities mourned the loss of a young woman taken in a brutal, random attack. Vigils and memorials were held, and citizens expressed outrage over the delayed discovery of her body. The case prompted calls for improved missing persons protocols in urban centers. Questions about police procedures and search effectiveness led to public discussions about how authorities handle similar cases. Family members and advocates emphasized the importance of timely investigations and transparency. Tess's story also raised awareness about personal safety, especially for women navigating busy nightlife districts. Community groups and organizations highlighted the risks of stranger violence and encouraged urban safety measures, such as buddy systems, surveillance improvements, and rapid reporting of missing individuals. Her family became advocates for better investigative procedures and community involvement, ensuring that Tess's memory contributed to positive change. The Tess Richey case serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of stranger violence. It highlights the critical importance of swift search responses, careful police procedures, and community vigilance when someone goes missing. Urban areas, even bustling downtown streets, can conceal risk, and small oversights can have tragic consequences. Community involvement from reporting sightings to assisting in searches is essential in helping law enforcement act quickly. The tragedy also sparked broader conversations about public safety, personal awareness, and the systems in place to protect vulnerable individuals. Tess's story continues to resonate as both a cautionary tale and a catalyst for change in missing persons protocols across Canada. Tess Richey's life was full of creativity, kindness, and connection, and her death was a senseless reminder of how quickly tragedy can strike. By remembering Tess, we honor her spirit and ensure her story has meaning beyond the crime. Let her story inspire vigilance, compassion, and awareness in our communities. Check on your loved ones, stay aware of your surroundings, and support efforts to make public spaces safer for everyone. If you found this case informative, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Crime Shadows here, and comment below which country you're watching from. Every view helps keep Tess's story alive and contributes to awareness about personal safety and community responsibility.